So on this episode of Offroad Update, we're going to take a look at a new electric ATV that's starting to surface, and yeah, you're going to want to see this. And we're going to take a look at some new Polaris Rangers. Hey, do you want to stay up to date on the latest ATV trails, reviews, and news? Obviously you do. So hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss our future videos. All right, so first up, Polaris has recently announced that they are adding 4 new models to the industry's #1 utility side-by-side. And I didn't make that up, that's fact, by the way. And that is the Polaris Ranger. And it's gonna come in really 2 different models with 2 different options. And that is, we're gonna have the 3-seater, that 3-seater, and the 6-seater. I'm not setting that down. And then within those 2 options, you're gonna see the Back Country Edition and the new Northstar Edition. Now with the Back Country Edition, one of the big improvements is actually gonna be the transmission. So they've reduced the gear ratio for the transmission, and more specifically, they've geared the reverse transmission to allow for more durability and strength. And then they've also gone ahead and thrown on a 4,500 pound winch and a high mount intake. Do they mean snorkels? They mean snorkels. I don't know why they call it a snorkel on the high lifter model, and now they're calling it a higher intake, but it's basically the same concept. Moving on. And then they also still have the same 13-inch ground clearance, but they've arched the A-arms to give you more of that overall ability when going down the trail. Did that make sense? More overall ability? Now it does still have the same 13 inches of ground clearance, but they've added arched A-arms so that you've got really more usability of that 13 inches. Now the second model Polaris has added is the Northstar Edition. One of the big things you're gonna notice about this right off the bat is that ride command that's gonna come included with that nice 7-inch display with glove touch technology, by the way. Like, I was outside trying to use my phone earlier and I couldn't get it because I had a glove on and it's cold. It's just freaking, Anyway, I digress. It's got that, it's gonna have some in-dash speakers available for you, and a front and rear facing camera. Front and rear. My truck doesn't have a front facing camera on it. Like, just, some of the technology that is coming in these machines now is amazing. Bottom line, if you're looking for a machine with a fully enclosed cab, heat and AC, speaker system where you can crank the tune, some good technology, and you wanna just enjoy the ride no matter what the temperature is outside, this might be the machine for you. All right, so next up, we've got an Indiana-based company. Maybe you've heard of them. They go by the name Super ATV. One of those great companies that we've all come to love and know so well. Well, they've just invested $4 million in a brand new manufacturing and distribution plant in Shreveport, Louisiana. Now, Mr. Hunt, the owner, it's a family-owned business, went on record to state, this will allow Super ATV another retail and shipping location and able to bring products to customers as fast as possible. And that's just swell, because let's be honest, the worst part about breaking your machine, well, other than the cost for the new parts, I guess, and having to get it off the trail. Okay, maybe not the worst part about breaking your machine, but an issue when you break it is having to order the new parts and then wait for them to show up so you can fix it. And it's nice outside and you can't get out there and ride. So if we're gonna get them sooner, I'm all about that. Now you might have a question as far as, well, how many new jobs is this gonna bring to the area? That's a great question. And Super ATV is stating that this will bring approximately 75 new jobs to the Shreveport, Louisiana area. And the average pay is gonna be $40,000 plus benefits. Now that's all fun and dandy, but my question is, Mr. Hunt, what's the employee discount? Sponsor. All right, so today's sponsors, well, it's us. Head on over to our website and check out our clothing line. And we're not really that selfish. A lot of these clothes don't even have our logo on them. All right, so the future is here. It does not look good. So Aero Service, a company that specializes in ultralight metal aircraft, has created a quad. Now I should say they're on like Gen 5, so these aren't new, but they've started to surface a little bit more. And Aero Service goes on, and I quote, "The EV4 was created for special customers who appreciate high quality functionality and an unforgettable experience." I mean, there is no way you could forget this ride, even if you tried. So if you're wondering, how is this anything to do with off-road? Well, because they're marketing it that way, for one. And they also state that it has a lot of similarities between this and a quad. It has 4 wheels, and you sit in between them, I guess. Other than that, it's got a 24-inch width. The suspension, now this is getting wild. The suspension is 2 bicycle shock absorbers. That is sweet. All right, but the one thing to note from all this is really what separates it and makes it unique. All right, a lot separates it and makes it unique. But the one thing that we really want to talk about that makes it stand out above all the other stuff is the tilting system that is built into this and how it operates. Now, this is actually really impressive. Weird impressive, but impressive. There is no doubt that is some incredible suspension travel, or whatever it is you call it on this thing. So you might be asking yourself, well, who's this for? That's another great question, by the way. You're full of great questions today. According to Aero Service, the EV4 is, well, quite frankly, for a lot of people. They go on to make a whole list. For example, commuters. What? It has a top speed of 22 miles an hour. Who is using that to commute to work? I mean, I guess if you're in a situation where you could take your bicycle, but I doubt it's allowed on bike paths, and it's probably not allowed on roadways, so I don't know where you're working, but if you can make that weird thing work, maybe where scooters work, I don't know. All right, moving on. Patrolling activities. That's right, they actually put patrolling activities in their list of functions. So let me set the scene for you here. You go out, you ride all day, you have a great day, you come home, you're in an awesome mood, your wife's with you, and you're like, you know what, honey, I wanna get some good quality time with you tonight. Let's go out and have a good date night. So you get cleaned up and you head downtown. You go in, you find a great spot to eat, you have some dinner, and you walk out. You walk out of this restaurant, and all of a sudden you hear this buzzing sound, and you look up, and in between two buildings, you see a man running, holding a purse, and he's running as fast as he can run, right? And you're like, well, that's weird. And you start looking around for the police, trying to figure out if they're actually gonna go after this guy. And then between these two buildings, out of nowhere, this buzzing gets louder, and you see this poor peace officer driving by at a whopping 22 miles an hour down the street, trying to catch this guy while he's screaming, and he's got a little red flashy light on this thing. What? Like, that's insane. I mean, I don't know what's worse, the fact that anybody would actually consider that, or that poor peace officer that actually has to spend his day riding around on it. Bottom line, that, like, nope. We've already tried the Segway thing. That's already embarrassing enough for everybody involved. Don't put them on these. Just don't do that. All right, let's continue on. So you keep going down this list. Caravanning. Caravanning is actually on there. Like, you're gonna wake up in the morning, you're gonna flick on Fox News to see what's going on in the morning, and they're gonna be discussing the caravan of EV4s heading out to the Wild Wild West to explore new territory. Come on, man. Like, come on. All right, but in all seriousness, the potential is actually there. Like, you have the potential there to make something amazing, but you're definitely not there now. And the sales pitch on this thing is absolutely atrocious. So that's something that they definitely need to work on. But if you could take some of this technology, add some horsepower, add some torque, maybe put it in a more traditional style ATV, you might actually have something there. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and out to see you on the trail. Out of the elements. In the elements, enjoy the ride. Are you really in the elements when you're fully enclosed? I mean, it's like driving a car. I don't know, man. Manufacturing and distribution plant. Manufacturing and distribution plant. Why is that so hard to say? Distribution, come on, man, pull it together. It's like an 8-minute video.